Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is your first time here. My name is Dillion. I talk about tech, talk about career, and just like I'll be doing in this video today, I talk about life, my experiences with life. So today I'm creating this new playlist where I talk about my experiences in Amsterdam, and I'm sharing this for newcomers, people who are coming in here and want to know how things work, people who are planning on coming here, or people who just want to know how things are here. And I'll also be updating this information when I learn anything new or when something I said wrongly is maybe I find more accurate information. I can create updated videos about that. And I'm sharing this, because coming here, I struggled with a lot of things, and I don't just want you who wants to come here to also go through the same things. In today's video, I'll be talking about transportation, the transportation system in Amsterdam. I'm saying Amsterdam because I'm in Amsterdam. I believe it works this way all through Netherlands, but just to be careful, in Amsterdam. And this video will be broken in two sections. So firstly, I'll talk about how to use the public transport. And in the second section, I'll talk about three beautiful things I love about the transportation system. I also want to put this disclaimer that I'm not saying these things only happen in Amsterdam. I mean, if you're someone like me coming from Nigeria who has never been outside Nigeria, these things that I'm about sharing will be new for you. I mean, except you watch movies a lot. But if you're coming from somewhere else, all this information may just be like, they are not new. So I'm just trying to explain why they are not new to you. So the transportation system, how does the transportation system work? There are a lot of transportation means here. There are the ferries, which move on water. There is which I don't use. There is the bus. There are trams. Trams are just like mini trains that move on road between cars. There are trains, and then there are metros. I think trains are more for intercity movements, and while the trams are while the metro are like within a city, so they stop more often at different points in the city. And how do you use this public transport? For someone like me who's from Nigeria, I mean, coming here, I had to relearn things. I don't go to the bus driver, let's say I'm moving in a bus. I don't go to the bus driver and say, driver, I'm stopping at this place. How much is it? No, I don't do that. And I don't go there with cash too. So you use different cards for payment, and I know there's a lot of them, but one that is very common is an ov-chipkaart, and it looks like this. I mean, I have to hide some information just so you don't use my card, but it's just like your debit card for transportation. The card has a validity period, and then it also has a card number. And with the card number, you can go to the ov-chipkaart website and probably check your balance or things like more information about the card. In this video, I'll not really talk so much about the differences, but there are two types of ov-chipkaarts. There is the anonymous ov-chipkaart, which I'm using, and there is a personal ov-chipkaart. For the anonymous, it's anonymous. There is no name tied to it, and one thing about the card is when you misplace the card, whatever balance you have inside is gone forever. You cannot block the card because it's anonymous. Nobody knows it's you, right? But then there's the personal ov-chip card, which is like more personalized to you. And if your card gets missing, you can easily block the card. How do these cards work? You recharge. There are also subscription models for it too, but basically you recharge, and the more you use, the more you are debited. The more you use, the more you are debited. And how do you use these cards? Now on the trams and on the buses, the entrance has this card reader. And when you go there, you scan a barcode. The barcode is just in front of the card. Of course, I cannot show you. So you scan the barcode on the card reader, and when you scan it, the place you're currently standing or the place the bus is currently positioned is registered. You're basically checking in. And when you get to your destination, you check out. And when you check out, and this is one of the beautiful things I love about the transportation system, which I'll explain later on in the second section. But when you check out, you are billed from the distance you checked in to the distance you checked out. And of course, this can vary. I mean, for different buses, they may be slightly more cheaper than the other. But I mean, If it's a short distance, it's a very short rate. So that's how the cards work for buses. That's how it also works for trams. Now, for trains and metros, it's a bit different. The trains and the metros do not have a card reader, but the stations have card readers. So when you get to a station, there is a door, and the door has a card reader attached to it. So the door only opens when you scan, when you check in, basically. And of course, if your card is not correct, it won't work. So if you check in and your card is valid, the door opens and your check-in point is registered. And when you go up and you get into the train or the metro and you get to your destination, on coming out, there is another door for coming out. And when you're coming out from the more like the departure door, when you're coming out, you scan again, and then your checkout position, is compared to your check-in position, and then you are billed for that distance. And I know I'm saying that distance, and I'll talk about this more in the second section. On the card reader there, you can see how much you're billed and how much you have left. But like I said earlier, you can go to the website, use your card number, and you can find more information about your balances. You can even find receipt of movement. Like I said, I'll not be talking about the ov-chipkaart here. Maybe when I learn more about the personal ov-chipkaart. I'm currently using an anonymous one. When I learn more about the personal one, I could probably create a video on that. So that is basically how you go about public transport here. You have your card reader, you recharge, and then you use them as you move. Now let's jump into the second section, which is, you will enjoy it, maybe. The 3 beautiful things I love about public transports here. And the first thing I want to talk about is the distance that I kept emphasizing on. And just to be more careful, I am not really sure if this is how it works for buses or trams, because when you're checking in, I think the system can record the particular bus or tram that you are moving with. So I'm not really sure. But for the trains and the metros, you are only billed from this distance to this distance. So if you go into a metro or a train and you go round the city and you check out here, you're only billed from here to here. And I think the logic behind this is, for the trains and the metros, there are different trains going to your destination. And when you check in from the door, from the card reader, and you go up, you can choose to go into different buses, different trains or different metros, and the system cannot really know what train or metro you're inside. For the bus, the card reader is directly on the bus, so if you check in, I believe they can keep track of that system. But for the trains and metros, they have no idea. So the train wouldn't even know if you entered one, or if you entered this or you entered that. If you go all around here in different trains, the system will just probably believe that you just went from here to here. And I really love that, not because I'm taking advantage of it, of course, but it's just so nice how you don't need to worry about how long a train ride is. All that matters is the distance between your check-in point and your checkout point. And that's the first thing that I find so beautiful. The second thing I also find so beautiful, which of course is new for me, for someone from Nigeria, is the trains have numbers. The public transports have numbers. The trams, buses, train, metros, they all have numbers. And the way these numbers work, each train has 2 points, this place and this place. If the train is coming from here to this place, this could be the starting point, this could be the destination. And if the train is coming from this place to this place, this could be the starting point and this is the destination. And it is like that, because the numbers help you easily identify where this train is going and where this train isn't going. And of course, you don't have to master these numbers. I have a friend in Amsterdam here who I believe knows all numbers, but you really don't have to master. You would only get used to the one that you use very often. And even if you don't know those numbers, there is Google Maps. So Google Maps has the numbers there, which is the third beautiful thing I like, and I'm getting there. So all trains, they have their numbers, and when you see a number, you can just know this is going to the center, this is going to this place, that is going to that place. and then you know that, okay, on getting to this place, my stop is just between here and that place, so I can stop there. And of course, if you're going to a bus that doesn't stop at your stop, you just get lost. So yeah, that's another thing I like. And then number 3 is Google Maps works just so beautifully here. And I wish I had known this early enough. I probably wouldn't have spent as much as I did. But Google Maps works so much here. I mean, when you tell Google Maps you're going to this place, Google Maps will tell you how many trams you have to enter. There are alternative directions, but Google Maps will give you the recommended one. Like if you go here, you'll be at your destination in 30 minutes. You trek 3 minutes. You walk 3 minutes, and you get to whatever the name of this station is. You go into a train which is number 50, and number 50's destination is this place, but you won't get to the destination. You stop at the 5th drop-off point. So Google Maps works so well here. So if you're new here, I recommend getting Google Maps. It works just so nicely here. And I mean, there are so many minor details of this transportation system that I love, but in general, it's structured, it's organized. In this video, I've shared how the ov-chipkaart works. I believe that should be the same way most of the cards also work, and also the 3 beautiful things I love about it. So watch out for more things I'll be sharing about my experience here. I hope you like this, and I hope this also helps you if you're planning on coming here. This also helps you to make good decisions and not waste money like I did. So see you in my next video. Kindly like, share, and subscribe if you find this helpful. See ya.